CenturyNext Bank is proud to sponsor Digital Weather Desk with local meteorologist Jared Floyd.
The Digital Weather Desk is your local source for the latest weather information to help keep you and your family safe and to plan your week. You can follow us on our social media platforms, download our app, and you can also find us at digitalweatherdesk.com. The Digital Weather Desk,
Powered by CenturyNext Bank.
You know what seeing that video reminded me? It reminded me that it is Cookie Friday at CenturyNext Bank. At least at the Tower Drive branch. Cookie Friday. I don't even have any bank business to conduct today, but I may just I just may just waltz in there this afternoon and just be like, "Hey, is my money still here?" And they're like, gonna be like, "Yeah," and I'm gonna go, "Okay, well, I guess I'll just take a cookie on the way out." They're delicious. Perhaps the best chocolate chip cookie you could consume on this Friday. Let's take a look at the visible satellite. It is a beautiful start to the afternoon, a beautiful start to what should be an amazing weekend. This afternoon's forecast made possible by the United Way of Northeast Louisiana, the 211 initiative. Again, the family relief effort is underway. You can text Family Relief, all one word, to 91999 to help folks as we continue to cover from last month's ice storm. And speaking of last month's ice, as you take a look at the visible satellite, some of it is still visible across northwestern Mississippi, through the Memphis area, and stretching into northeastern sections of Arkansas and southeastern Missouri. So again, we're still feeling the scars of a lot of this. And with all of that, I also should say that we have seen power restored to pretty much the entire area. I say pretty much because at one point last night into this morning, we had restored power to the entire area, aside from those that are going to need, certain, electrical repairs or whatever. But then it looks like we had another sporadic outage simply because of the windy conditions and the loose tree branches that we will continue to run into problems. We're going to see a lot of off and on power outages way more frequently than we normally would, I would say, over the next 6 to 8 months, simply because there's a lot of stuff still stuck in the trees, and it's just going to take the right, wind gust at the right time during the right day to bring them down. Your radar made possible by Brown's Roofing. Again, as we continue to recover from the ice storm, don't forget to schedule that free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Temperatures across the area have recovered nicely. It is a very warm and still quite breezy afternoon. 60s along the Mississippi Valley. Janet, good afternoon to you. Yes, beautiful afternoon. Low 70s for most of us. We will say goodbye to the 70s temporarily, but they're back in perhaps as early as Sunday, but really ramping up across the area early next week, staying above average through the middle parts of the month. Temperature changes over the last 24 hours. Most of us are running anywhere from 15 to near 25 degrees warmer than we were at this point yesterday. There will be some spots. In fact, this is how boring the weather is. National Weather Service in Jackson sent out a note earlier today. They were bored. But it was a cool piece of information, and I'm going to go read it real quick just because. And this is in Jackson, Mississippi, so nearby, but not here. With a low of 38 this morning, the National Weather Service in Jackson is set to see another 40-plus degree diurnal temperature swing, basically going from morning low to daytime high. Their forecast high today is 70, so if that's met, they will have gone 42 degrees from the morning low to the daytime high. They said that since 1896, this happens less than 2% of the time. 1.7% of the time, to be official. And thanks to the National Weather Service in Jackson for passing that note along. The National Weather Service is just a larger collective of weather nerds just like me. And they proudly wear that moniker. Good afternoon to you as well, Harlan and Rhonda. So again, it's warm. But part of it is the strong westerly and southwesterly winds, sunshine with no cloud cover, and a very dry environment. You take all the water out of the atmosphere, and our air is a lot easier to warm up and cool down. You start pumping humidity in, it takes longer because water takes longer to heat up and cool down. Wind speeds, west, generally in the 10 to 15 miles an hour. Joy says, sitting in sunshine, it makes me happy. Yep. there's going to be I think a lot of folks are going to really enjoy getting out this weekend for the parades and for a lot of the outdoor festivities, and just being able to kind of be outside without, we've had a lot of stress in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I think a lot of folks are just kind of looking forward to letting loose. Just having some smiles, being around other people. So I hope that you have the opportunity to do so tomorrow. Again, winds are breezy out of the west. They will shift as we go through the overnight as our cold front makes its way through the area. Looks to be running a smidge behind schedule. I was thinking it was going to be more of a 5 or 6 p.m. time frame cold front. It may be more of an 8 or 9 p.m. time frame cold front. Doesn't make that much of a difference because we're going to stay warm through the rest of the afternoon. Winds will stay breezy through the daytime hours tomorrow, probably in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range at times. Forecast generally has it in the 5 to 10, but we'll probably sit on the higher end of that 5 to 10 mile an hour range through the day. And then I wouldn't be surprised for the winds to really crank back up out of the south and southwest as we go through the daytime hours on Sunday, setting the warming trend that will carry us into early next week. Eventually, we'll work some rain chances back in. Speaking of tomorrow's parade time temperatures, most of our daytime will be spent in the 50s. Most of our nighttime will be spent in the 40s. I really just wanted a reason to show this absolutely cool looking confetti effect. I saw it and I was like, I gotta find a way to use that. And I was like, well, we gotta look at temperatures for tomorrow. So I just smashed those two together. Mid to upper 50s. Like I said, that's where we'll probably peak tomorrow. But nighttime temperatures, again, 2 parades tomorrow. So daytime temperatures in the 50s, nighttime temperatures likely in the 40s. And we will switch from the 50s to the 40s right around sunset. No rain chances. Here's a look at the upper level pattern. Look at the water vapor imagery first. This is an actual image of the mid-levels of the atmosphere. Thank you, Rhonda. Winds are out of the north and northwest in the wake of the cold front, continuing to pull in that cool, dry air. But a ridge of high pressure sits just off to our west, and that will move into place, amplified as we go into the weekend. Note that our winds are already back out of the southwest through the day on Sunday, so the cloud cover starts to trickle back in through the day Sunday and continuing through the day Monday, ahead of a Tuesday, Wednesday storm system that will likely bring at least some shower and storm potential back to the region. If you're wondering about severe weather threats, this does not look to be screaming widespread severe weather, but we are getting into that time of year where upper disturbances, if they have the potential of producing thunderstorms, if they have any upper level support at all, then you probably can't rule out at least some isolated severe threat. It's something that we'll watch over the next few days. Again, not overly concerning as this menacing, super organized storm system yet, but we're just kind of waiting to see how much in terms of ingredients we can really pull up before it moves through on Tuesday. And then beyond that, the middle parts of next week are kind of in flux. I wouldn't be surprised to stall out a week boundary and keep some small rain chances in Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe even into the end parts of next week. And I think by next Friday, Saturday, which is the day before, and then Valentine's Day itself, we could be bringing another storm system back into the region. And that one may also bring with it some strong storm potential. Way too early to say with a lot of certainty, so I don't want folks to hang on that and go, oh my gosh. But it is something that we'll watch, and temperatures do look to trend above normal. So if you have outdoor Valentine's Day plans, it should be warm. How warm? Again, too early to tell. At least mild to warm is what I would call it, because we will see a week boundary that pushes us probably into the 60s for highs by next Friday. Look at the day planner, made possible by the Monroe Chamber of Commerce and Leaders of Change, our newest local business partner to the Digital Weather Desk, powered by CenturyNext Bank. We appreciate the Monroe Chamber, Leaders of Change, for hopping on board. They'll be bringing us your day planner, a lot of your hour-by-hour forecasts and things like that over the next several months. So we appreciate having them. Low to mid-70s for the rest of the afternoon. Front approaches tonight. Again, 6 to 9 p.m. time frame, somewhere in that ballpark, falling into the 60s as we go into the late night hours, and then eventually into the upper 30s to near 40. Again, turning cooler behind this front, breezy during the early parts of the night. Those winds should die down as we head toward daybreak tomorrow. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. Rain chances are back in on Tuesday. Again, I've bumped them up a little bit. These are all new numbers from where we were this morning, so the forecast always available and now refreshed at digitalweatherdesk.com. That was my wife's Alani that she just in case you were wondering. Well, everybody heard it. You want to sit there and bring attention to it, then don't open it. Everybody thinks I'm cracking a beer at 12:30 in the afternoon. It's just an Alani. This is her. Jeez. I'm a Red Bull guy. Everybody knows that. Forecast is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. Links to download, digitalweatherdesk.com. Just realized I put 73 for 3 straight days. That shows how little I pay attention from the day to day in the forecast. When I build the forecast out on the 7-day like this, I pay little to no attention at all of, well, I put 73 for this day, so I can't put it again for the next day. Why? I mean, every day is independent of each other, at least in my mind when I'm building those numbers. So, go figure. But it's very rarely. And we got the full house of 70 and 73. Check this out. We got 70, 73, 73, 73, 70. I did not plan that at all. One of those weird days. I'll check in with you a little bit later today. Again, Fish and Game forecast comes out at 8 p.m. tonight. And a beautiful weekend is in store. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by CenturyNext Bank. As always, so glad you're here. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. And if I don't see you this evening, enjoy the rest of your weekend.